the problems in ancient times, you could solve them or you didn't have to. But the problems we have now with climate, right, with pollution, with money and economy, you have to solve those problems because the human being cannot exist if those problems are not solved, right? And the reason we're making this move right now is because all the stuff we've been talking about, this is our time. This is our time. The other criminal elements had a few more years to go into their thing. But now everything is laid out clear. We have laid it out all along, and with Allah's help. So strategic alliances, Syria, Iraq, Iran, even Russia and China. Even Russia and China. Why? When this was written 2015, or these notes, this come from a time when, the way I have it written here, in 3 weeks, when the Russians started bombing the Fitna people, pop, it was in line. The U.S. was bombing them, hanging out with them for 2 years, and wasn't nothing happening, right? So at that time, they're not the godless commies anymore, or the Reds, you know what I mean? They're allies. And remember, before we couldn't be allies because they was killing Afghanis, right? Okay. The Quran leaves a space for you to have alliances with non-believers if they haven't warred against you and if they haven't backed up nobody to say, well, right now it's been 20 years since they was a godless commies, and now, hey, and everything they're doing supports Muslim behavior. And the other Reds, we used to call them, the white folks, the Chinese Reds. What do they lie about? Oh, in the Chinese area where the Muslims live, they oppress, and the people there are oppressed. The imams are running around with all their imam gear, giving lectures and doing this. It's no. In fact, I get a salary, the government pay. I can, I can hustle on the side because I'm getting hooked up, And it ain't none of that. Only place you find that is in the Western media, right? You can't find it in China, but we got to keep our eye on it. We got to help the Chinese brothers not do like they did in Africa before, like Bossman did, because he's starting to smell himself a little bit, but he still haven't went over the line. He can still be an ally. Anyway, strategic alliances. So now, the other things that has happened right before our eyes is everybody have manifested who they are. Everybody now knows Saudi Arabia is not Qadim al-Haramain. They're not protectors of the two holy shrines. They're selling them out, right? Everybody know that. And the biggest war in the region is the richest Arab country in the world fighting the poorest. And the poorest is winning. Can you imagine what that's doing to them? And just the other day, they made another big move. They made another big move just the other day. Everywhere in the world, things are beginning to head in the Islamic direction. Years ago, it was all heading away from Islam. Islam was bad, everything, right? But now, that's beginning to change. So, we had all of this out in the public for years, and we have to be out here by ourselves, right? And guess what? You ain't seen nobody sitting up here crying and we're all alone, right? We've been running the same routine exactly. Everybody else will see that, and that gives you credibility. And when hard questions come, we seem to have made the right ones. Like if we mention to the people, okay, the societies the Zionists have a certain hold. So the Muslims should participate now, like in the law enforcement forces, prisons guards, police, all that. Why? Because things are getting so bad, the money getting ready to fall, right? Sooner or later, the society is beginning to decompose, destabilize. We want to reach a level of a minimum of 25% of our people working, especially in the police systems, to protect ourselves. The crackpots, right, have been joining up all along. Only thing is, they people are so dumb, the white folks are joining the police, right? But the reason the killings are so brutal is because of black people is because they're becoming really Zionist orientated. And you could see it everywhere. Look at all the black people, look at all the news earlier this year and last year, all of the news. If it was just regular white folks doing it, they would take it easy, right? And say, hey, just cool it a little bit. Don't shoot too many Negroes right now. Just let them get away with it, whatever. Why they didn't do that? It's because the Zionists, all the people were being killed. Now, the police were taking training from Zionists. Did everybody know that? Okay, we all know that. And the Zionists was teaching them, treat them like Palestinians, where you don't have to, like our stuff in the courts and all that in California, throw it out. So we done tricked them. They hate us so bad that they discard their own law, right? They arrest you in your own place, and you got over and over again, and you got the deed to the property, or you got property and they give it to somebody else, and you own it. They did all of that to us, right? Why? Because that's the way the Zionists do. That's not the way the mean old American police did us. They had to have a reason. They had to set us up, and then they blow you away. It's pretty bad. I mean, I have to give them credit. They did us in a lot of times, but not like today, right? They just, why? Because that's from Ottoman times. So that deed to that property is from Ottoman times. We don't have to respect it, right? And the way the water, the water in Detroit, the water everywhere is bad, right? Why they don't fix it? Because there's Negroes there. And they following Zionist policy. The water in Palestine is bad and polluted. America, thankfully, has adopted fully the Zionist policy. That means both of them going out at the same time. Yeah. All of them is going out at the same time. Okay, I done strayed a little and it's getting late, so I'm going to almost just wrap it up. See if anybody remember this. Archivists, documentalists, chroniclers, and historians. This is from years ago. This is what we have been doing, is what we are doing, and is what we were doing. Archivists. That means all of this stuff, this is just one book of stuff that we've been writing. All of it, I could read from any page, and it's exactly what was happening at that time and technically what's happening now. So we knew what our job was, that we're going to have to archive. We're going to have the archives. We're going to hold them. The archives of America, the archives of the Zion. Documentation. We're going to document all of this stuff, if not physically, in the minds of people. Right? Chronicle is the same thing. Historians. Those are the 4 words that we had, and others. That's what we had to do. That's the job we chose. We selected everything that we are doing, we selected for ourselves. Nobody forced any of this on us. In fact, most of it that comes from the system, we actually encouraged them to do it. Why? Because at just the right time, all of their criminal stuff will be on the surface for everybody to see. During the old days, they would just say that there's black radicals and they could shoot us up for nothing. Nobody was willing to go through the stuff that we put up with over the last several years. So they just point at us and said, that's what they've been doing. It's illegal. In your law, right? What they're doing with Iran is illegal. You even thinking about atomic energy and you give a fatwa that you're not going to do it, we're going to bomb you anyway. Yeah, we're going to just dismantle your stuff. We're going to go after you, and everybody knows it. Right? That's the way we are. All the Negro leaders and everybody in D.C. and Oakland, all over the United States, every Muslim organization, the top boys knew exactly what they was doing with us. And everybody knew one place you don't go in D.C. is over there. Right? You just don't go there. Don't worry about what it is. And all of them agreed. All of them agreed. And everybody has done exactly everything that's wrong and incomprehensible. It looks like it's getting prayer time or past. So we're going to move toward wrapping up. But I just want to say these 1 or 2 things. Remember visualization. And if you want a new world, you have to dream about it. Remember our favorite statement? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, the land that I heard of once in a lullaby. In other words, stuff we're talking is a dreamland stuff, right? It's not, if you look at our writings, though, it talks about it in a clear way. But when you think about it, you have to think about it as this is possible. And not, we used to talk about possibility thinking, but now it's necessary thinking. Because the world has been left to these bums. And if we leave it to them a couple of more years, it'll be gone. Right? The only break they got is 2 or 3 days ago. Yesterday and the day before, they had all that rain in California. That must be from our door. Did y'all see all that? And this is too early for rain in California. Because California have 2 seasons, wet season and dry season. The wet season don't come till way up in November and December. January is good for the wet season. February is wonderful, right? Even March is all right. Then, and April, a little bit. Then it starts getting dry. And by June and July, it's like a tinderbox. That's why those forest fires out there are so big. Boy, they needed help. Them prayers for people. I mean, all that water, all that snow and the mountains and everything, they've been needing it bad. Okay, so maybe Allah is shining on them. One thing, all that rain, they needed it. And if they get it heavy like they've been getting it for the rest of the year, it might fill up some of them reservoirs. Can you imagine reservoirs going dry? Can you imagine the Colorado River is, what's that big dam? They got two big dams. Not Boulder Dam. Boulder Dam is one, that's another place. But on the Colorado River, Lake Mead is